Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is episode 7 of our Texas Rangers franchise mode here on MLB The Show 20. As in today's episode, we're going to be going through a very big offseason as we look to improve the Texas Rangers and hopefully make this team a playoff team for next year. As our past two seasons, it hasn't been too great. Last season, we finished 73 and 89. This season, we finished off the year 69 and 93. I felt like we were a little bit better to start off the season. I felt like, I think you guys felt that too. We were really good to start off the season. We made a couple trades, trading away, of course, Morton, Lynn, and some of our other pitchers, which kind of made our pitching staff a little bit worse over the seasons, which we will be improving. We're going to be practically making a whole new rotation, starring Ryan Borarki and Pablo Lopez. Those will be the two main guys for our pitching staff, maybe even include Brady Singer and some other players. Our bullpen is getting much better. Jose Leclerc was a great pitcher for us this year. He was absolutely stellar with a great season that he had. Where's the saves? 32 saves once again this year. Not as many games as he had last year, but hopefully he could come back and do great next year as well. But Luis Perdomo had a great season this year. A 3.16 ERA. I felt like he played a lot better. We need to give him a new contract. Edgar Santana, another pitcher who did fantastic this year, who we picked up. Brett Martin, he had a 4.26. Not as great as last year, but not too shabby. Robert Stevenson, another great pitcher that we picked up. And I feel like this team is improving. We're getting better. We're getting younger. We're looking like a better team. And I feel like going into this offseason, we need to make some big improvements, right? So, as we're going to keep Starlin Marte, Jonathan Villar, Luis Arezou, we need to keep him. What a great contact hitter he was. Ahmed Rosario, we're keeping him as well. Joey Gallo, Ronald Guzman, he will be our first baseman, guaranteed. He's such a great power hitter and stuff like that. Nick Ahmed, we need a new DH. Nick Ahmed, he's not bad. I feel like we could definitely get rid of him and trade him away to pick up somebody better. He wasn't the greatest, but he wasn't the best. But I feel like we could maybe possibly keep him for the bench if we have the money to keep him and stuff like that. Tyler Flowers, we're also going to get rid of. We're going to get a new catcher. And Nick Solak, I would actually rather him play third baseman, because of the fact that he's such a good defender, as you guys can see there. And he didn't do too bad with his 16 at-bats, 337. And they didn't do that bad last year either. Like, he was not that bad. And I feel like giving him a full spot as a third baseman will definitely, I think he'll excel. But the bench players, Danny Santana, we got to get rid of him. He had a really bad season. I think we could use somebody better. D. Gordon, get rid of him. Aldis Diaz, I feel like we could almost sign him back on the team. He's such a good bench player for the team. I feel like getting him back on the team was definitely somebody. Josh Jung, I feel like if he develops a little bit better, I feel like he could definitely be somebody that we could possibly use. But everybody else, practically Josh Jung and Diaz, we're keeping. Everybody else, we're practically going to get rid of. Yeah, I think that's really it. I know Cameron Rupp is almost ready. Sam Huff is also almost ready for this upcoming season. Everybody else, we really don't got anybody that's really going to be pushing for a starting position. Maybe Sherton, Aspinall, and Disable Arrayas. But everybody else, really, you're looking at might not be ready for a full-time position. We'll have to see once we get into some more simulation and stuff like that. Maybe a JD Martinez might be somebody that will be willing to play this upcoming season. And 100 Cole, this might be also another guy that we might be using as well for the upcoming season. Pitching wise, we are going to be looking at a whole new pitching staff. We're getting practically rid of everyone. Pablo Lopez and Ryan Borarki, we're going to keep. Hans Kraus, if he jumps up and becomes a little bit better, he could possibly be a starting pitcher for us next year, and maybe even a late relief pitching guy for the team. So we'll have to see where we go with that. But let's get the offseason start up and get right into the postseason and stuff like that, and gets this done and simulated and get to the offseason. The Indians defeated the Mets in the 2021 series. Are you? Yep, I would like to advance. We didn't make it to the playoffs anyways, so I would like to kind of take a look at the team and stuff like that. We got a couple retired players. Sanchez, nobody that we really were using anyways, so nobody really important, and no one in getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. So Ramon Richards, we're gonna keep him again. Hopefully he can have a better season this year. Hopefully speed, or yeah, I could, but arm strength he lowers. I'd rather not have arm strength. We could get this guy. That sounds like a good player for us. We will get arm accuracy, speed, and durability. Yeah, I like that. So give him about $2 million. for our third base coach. And then, you could rebrand. Oh, that's fucking cool. I wish NHL had that. Well, they do if you're in owner mode or whatever. You could, like, put a new team in instead of that team, which is pretty cool. Will Metcalf, yes, we'll sign him as well. Get him to a deal. 2.1, same thing for him. For the farm director, perfect. But now let's take a look at the team and who we need to sign. Tanner Work, he was a solid pitcher for us this year. 404, he was 11-11 throughout the season. I don't think he did too bad, but I feel like we could definitely get somebody better. Same with Charlie Morton. Jordan Lyles, perfect depth guy, I think, for the team, but for $3 million, definitely not what I want to look at. Avelia, all these guys. Jan, whatever the fuck his name is. He had a 286 this year, but he's declining. I feel like we could look at somebody better than him. Billy Hamilton actually didn't have that bad of a season, and he was speedy for us. But how much is he going to want? He's going to want a good $3 million, and I'd rather save that for our bullpen and stuff like that. So all those guys we're just practically not going to worry about. Well, Metcalf signs, so we got the two coaches that we need. No, we don't want to tender any of those guys, so let's get going on signing the big free agents. So, Ahmed Rosario, Pablo Lopez, Boraki, Luis Arezzo, Perdimio, we got to do some big signings, and we got $4.33 million. So, players that I will be willing to get rid of, Cal Gibson, Nick Ahmed, if anything kind of bad happens and we need to make some moves. Kevin Rope is actually the guy that we accidentally signed, I'm pretty sure, to that huge contract, and I also think Hernandez was also a mistake because he should not be making that amount of money. Anyways, let's continue. So big guys that are already in free agency. Francisco Lindor, holy shit. So there's some big relief pitchers as well that we could possibly go after. Now remember, we're going after young guys. Young guys that can make a huge difference for us, like a Kyle Barraclough. Right, that would be somebody perfect. A 415 this past season. Hopefully, we can make him a little bit better. Plus, he throws right-handed. Winkler, do we have any kind of left-handed guys? No, there's no left-handed relief pitchers, which kind of sucks. We were gonna look into getting maybe someone that was left-handed, but it looks like there might not be anybody. What about this guy? No. Brandon Workman, he throws right. Brandon Moreau throws right. Archie Bradley throws right. Robles, those right. All these motherfuckers throw right. Jesus Christ. So I guess we're just gonna have to stay with that one lefty bullpen guy, which I think is Martin, isn't it? I think it's Martin. Yeah, Martin's our left-handed guy, so we need to keep him on the team for sure to help us out for the future of our team. So let's get everyone signed on the team. Let's offer everyone the arbitration things. So if we're giving them 3 years, that means we're giving them 15 million plus, which I'd rather not do. We're going to give him the 7.4. Of course, he's going to be playing every day, but we're just going to give him the 7.2 right now, just because of that fact that it's just going to be a nice contract for the team. Player option. I don't know what that does. Maybe we could get a cheaper. Whatever. We'll keep it as it is. $7.2 million for Ahmed Rosario. We'll give him that contract. That's 4.4 over the next 2 years. Pablo Lopez, a guy that could be definitely a core pitcher for us, but $9.3 million. I could maybe even get it cheaper for just 4+ year, for 5+ years. If we get it for 6.2, I'd totally do that for Pablo Lopez. If we could do that type of contract for Pablo, I'd definitely do that for him. Ryan Boraki as well. That's too bad. If we could give you $5 million for 5 years, because you're like the top tier coach, and that's what you're a big fan of. So if we get Boraki and Lopez for 5 years, that is perfect. We lock up two of our best pitchers on the team. Luis Arezzo, perfect. Look at that. Cheap contract for Luis Arezzo. That's what I wanted from him. I wanted something cheap. Luis Perdimio, a big bullpen guy. I feel like we don't need to pay you up just yet. You're a good pitcher, but I don't feel like I want to pay you the big money yet. Edgar Santana as well. We might as well give you a nice contract. We will just give you a couple years at like $1.9 million for those couple years, so that you can be joining back on the team. Robert Stevenson, also I want you to join back on the team, my man. But we are going to be signing you to a little bit of a cheaper deal because we do love you, but we don't think you're worth that amount of money just yet, and a cheaper contract fits us a little bit better. So we will just sign him to a 1-year contract right now. I know Diaz really doesn't want to play with the team right now. We'll give him like We'll give him $1.9 million for DS. See if he signs back. If he doesn't, it's not a huge deal. We don't really need him just yet. Now, all the depth players, Jordan Howley, yeah, sign him back to a deal. Hunter Cole, sign you back to a deal. Hans Kraus. Hunter Cole does not have an MLB service time to be eligible for salary cap arbitration. If not reached an agreement on contract by February 15th, you may renew his contract at any price greater than 80% of his salary from last year. Okay, I really don't give a shit. I'll sign these guys. Julio Pablo Martinez. Hopefully he will be a guy that we might be looking to use this upcoming season, which would be nice to be able to use him. Sam Huff, maybe he's going to be a guy that we use on the bench with that amount of power, bro. That's a huge amount of power from that guy. He can hit that fucking ball. Same with Tejada. I really like how he can play base. Like, he can really play good baseball. Josh Jung. He did pretty good this year. I was actually really happy with how he kind of performed. I know not the greatest average in the world, but the way that he kind of played was definitely a true leader out there, and I'm really excited to see what he could bring next year for the club, as he's going to be definitely a big bench player for the team. Regis Salonis, Brendan Bailey, get you on a contract too, might as well. Nick Prado, get you on a deal. Jeremy De La Rosa, Maxim Acosto, get you on a deal. Thomas Fox, that's a big player that we need to sign back on a deal. Steele Walker, sign you back on a deal. Tyler Phillips, get you back on a deal. Acuna, get you back on a deal. Cole Winn, back on a deal. Man, we got a lot of prospects. There we go. Oh, no, we still got more. Luke Farrell. Holy fuck, you want a pretty good amount of money. You're only a 60 overall there, you fucking retard. Why are you expecting so much money from me, you asshole, and so much, like, term? All right, so that's really it there. We got everybody signed to a contract now. It is time to sign some big free agency. So we really don't got that much money locked up. We got maybe a couple $1 million. So maybe we might have, like, 3.5, maybe a little bit more than that, because we didn't really spend too much. But what's our biggest needs from our team? So we only got two pitchers, Lopez and Boraki, right? That's all we have. Hans Kraus and Brady Singer might be guys that play in the bullpen this upcoming season. We'll have to see. We got Perdimio, Martin, Stevenson, Edgar, Santana, Lecaric. We could use some depth guys. Catoli use a catcher. Ronald Guzman, we got a first baseman, we got a second baseman, and a resu. Nick Solek's going to be playing up in the major leagues this upcoming season. That's a guarantee. Nick Solek will be playing in the major leagues just because the way that he defends. He's going to be a big defender for the team. Now, if we could afford somebody else that's going to be better than Nick Solek, I will definitely be going after somebody like that. Because, I mean, Nick Solek barely makes anything on the team. And if we could get somebody that could play a little bit better, that's perfect. He could be an everyday player, and he could definitely get those stats back up, I feel, if we definitely play him in that everyday position. Josh Jung, he's definitely going to be a guy up there. So we got the third base kind of depth kind of filled out, right? So we got our first baseman in Guzman, second base in Luis Arezzu, and then our third baseman in Nick Solek, and then the backup in Josh Jung. Our second baseman in Rosario, and then we got Ahmed and Diaz as our depth. We got no left fielders, but Carlos Velazquez will definitely be another depth player that we might be using for this upcoming season. And then we got Villar, Marte, and then Gallo. So we really don't need any infielders, but if we could, a third baseman would be an option for me. I think if we have the chance, I think that's definitely somebody that we go after. So, Noah Syndergaard, fuck me, 29 years old. How much money, though? I mean, that would be a deal. That would be, I don't think that would be a smart move for us right now. Definitely going after someone like Eduardo Rodriguez would be somebody that I would definitely, I think, compete with. But the problem is we're going to be competing with the Boston Red Sox for that motherfucker, right? And that is going to be hella fucking hard to be competing with that team for that good of a player. But I feel like we need to take the risk to try to get Eduardo and try to get him to a contract. And I think that's somebody that can help us out for the future. We're going to backload the contract like we've done a lot of players because we need to save the money right now. And I feel like picking up a player like this guy would definitely help us out. So $3.5 million, let's see how much that is compared to the Boston Red Sox. That is way more money than what the Boston Red Sox are giving him. And I feel like if we do the deal that we just did, without a doubt, we should be able to get Eduardo Rodriguez to the team, and I feel like he would definitely be a big player for the Texas Rangers. Now we need also a right-hander, which is amazing because it's all left-handers now. Fuck me. So what we could do is we could get Andrew Heaney and just get Colin McHugh. But I mean, he's trailing down there. What do you got? Steven Matz as well, but he throws right. Zach Davies, Charlie Morton. So you could go with Zach Davies. That would be not... Yeah, actually, that's not a bad choice to go with our last pick there for a guy. So we could just sign him to a one-year deal, get him to $5.6 million for Zach Davies, and then go after Andrew Heaney as well, get him on a deal. We'll go 1 year with you. I know you're not a big fan of our team, but we will do rotation, not an ace, but we'll give you a pretty good amount of money. 11 point... We'll wait on Andrew Heaney. We'll wait on Andrew Heaney because we need to go after a bullpen guy, which I was thinking Dan Winkler because he had a pretty good damn year, and I feel like he could definitely be a good setup pitcher for the team. Plus, he's 31 years old. That's very good for a pitcher like him, and I feel like that would be somebody that would be kind of a good option. Now, I know he's not going to like the team. We'll sign you for 2 years at $9.5 million for the next 2 years, Dan Winkler, okay? Then we also need a catcher. That is also a big thing. Somebody that could play really good defensively, someone that's young, someone that could come into the team for a couple years and be a big catcher for us. So I think we're going to be looking at Christian Vasquez because he could hit the ball pretty good. 289 this past upcoming season. He's had seasons where he smacked the ball pretty good. So how much do you want? $9.8 fucking million. Are you shitting on me? You shitting on me? But I suppose he's going to be a little bit better. He's a little bit older, and I don't want to go after somebody that's going to be too fucking expensive or someone that's going to be declining. Manny Pena, I mean, he wasn't too bad, and he's good defensively. That's what we're really focusing on. Is somebody that can play good defensively that's not going to fucking break our bank. So, $7.3 million for Manny Pena. We'll get him on the team. So we got 3 big signings that we're going to be going after. 3 really big signings, so hopefully we can get all those motherfuckers. But right now, let's continue the sim, and hopefully that Eduardo Rodriguez signs with the Texas Rangers. So we got an ace now. So we got Rodriguez, we got Lopez, and we got Boraki. So that's a huge rotation for us to start. And we also got Kyle Gibson. So that's also another guy that you could add to it. Dan Winkler. Now that adds a for sure bullpen guy to the team. The Cubs sign him. Okay, so that's huge. That we got Rodriguez. We also got Zach Davies. So our pitching core is not looking that bad. And with hands crossed, I feel like this could be our core right here. Our Eduardo Rodriguez, Pablo Lopez, Ron Boraki, Zach Davies, and Kyle Gibson. That's our rotation right there. For bullpen, Dan Winkler, Luis Perdomo, Brent Martin, Stevenson, Edgar Santana, Jose Leclerc. That is a very good, I feel like could be a very lethal bullpen this upcoming season. I feel. That's something that I'm really excited to see. Manny Pena, I don't think he signed with the team. I don't think so, at least. Let's take a look at all the transactions here. See if he signed with any Manny Pena. Manny Pena. Has he signed with anybody yet? I don't think he has. Manny Pena has not signed with anyone, I don't think. I think he's still in free agency. We did not get these guys signed back on a contract yet, but we still have $2.96 million. So we still we're still waiting on Manny Pena to kind of come back, and we need to get those other guys on a contract too. So hopefully we can get those guys on a contract. The Royals giving us an offer. What do they got? Salvador Perez. They must have wanted this motherfucker, but I mean, that's not really anything worth the value for what we got in our players. Like, you're just giving us fucking junk for our best player. Like, where the fuck is Marlon Williams? Yeah, he's a 63 overall. Why would I want to trade my best fucking bullpen guy right now? You can suck my fucking cock, you dumb cunts. Get out of here. Like, what are those guys thinking? Like, what do they think they're gonna get across? Like, fuck me. That's such a dumb deal by them. Did we get Manny Pena's on the team now? Okay, sweet. How much money do we got left? We got $2.34 million left. We still haven't got Pablo Lopez, Luis Perdomo, and those guys still haven't signed yet. So we're just going to offer them arbitration. And we're going to give them a pretty good amount of money. We'll give them $2.2 million in that arbitration. Okay. All right. We'll just make sure we offer the arbitration because we got the contracts going. We just don't want to lose these motherfuckers, right? So submit the offer for Berdemio, Stevenson, offer arbitration, submit. And those are the 3 guys that we need to get back on the team. Now, we got to really wait until we get them on the team to really do anything. But I feel like the team is looking pretty powerful this year. We could have 28 active people on the roster this year. Shit. Okay, so we got more dead people. So we were seeing about third baseman. I don't think that these guys are really going to break our banks. 31, yeah, they're really not going to break our banks too much. So in free agency, third fucking baseman. Let's see what we can get for that. Because if we could get something for that, that would be something. For Senska, oh my god, Lindor, bro. Fucking Door. That would make our team broke. I mean, Lindor would be like huge. It would be fucking milestone huge if you were to get that big of a motherfucker. But right now, I don't think he fits the criteria of the team too well. Corey Dickerson, no. Domenico Santana. I mean, the thing is, we can even pick up an outfielder and just play. I'm pretty sure Joey Gallo as a third baseman, because yeah, he can play third base, and his stats are pretty good defensively too, right? Because then you can just pick up like a left fielder. You play Villar as the center fielder. You play Marte as the left fielder. You can play even fucking Jonathan Villar as a third baseman as well. So you got some choices, right? So you can almost do anything and just pick up about almost anybody you could pick up. So anybody that we could dream about, I think we could go after and get. So D. Gordon, no. None of those guys. Yeah, there's no good third baseman. Unless you want to go after Lindor. But, I mean, look at the amount of contracts that people are spending on Lindor. Like, that's a fuck ton of money for a player like that. So I feel like somebody that can play good defensively and also can hit that ball. I think that's going to be the biggest target for us right now. Michael Taylor, but he can't really hit the ball too well. I think the best guy that you're really going to be looking at is Domenico Santana, who can actually hit the ball pretty well and not play too shabby defensively. Not the best defensive stats in the world. Crush Davis, fuck. Is there anybody on the trading block? Like, is there somebody on the trading block that we can maybe go after? Jimenez, that is, I mean, but we could also get a DH going for the team as well. David Price, $31 million. Fuck that shit. Jason Hayward. We also need a DH, was what I was kind of talking about too, because what we had, like fucking, yeah, we didn't really have. We had Nick Ahmed on the DH. That was also a big worry about this upcoming season. So another power hitter too. Fuck, man, this is some difficult decisions right now on who to pick up. I think, I mean, it would be so nice to get Lindor, man. It would be so fucking nice to get Lindor and get him on the team. No one's offering Yair Baez any contracts, though. Like, he's such a good hitter, and he's a good power hitter. That's a guy that I would be thinking of picking up. You're sacrificing a lot, but I think we might lead this up to the next video. I think I'm going to think about what I do next with this team, because there's a lot of decisions that we have to make. So you guys can help me on the next video. So for the roster that we have so far, this is what we got, okay? Practically so far is Nick Solak, no. I'm glad that you could add the lineup. So this is practically what we have so far. Marte, left fielder, Villar, center fielder, Luis Arezzo is our second baseman, Ahmed Rosario is our shortstop, right field, Joey Gallo, Ronald Guzman as our first baseman, Nick Ahmed as our DH, we got Manapina, and then our Nick Solak as our third baseman. And then we got Diaz and Josh Young on the bench. So this is what we got for our main roster. Not that bad. Now, we do got to worry about contracts here in the future. As Joey Gallo, we got to probably pay him big bucks. We got to fucking start paying Jonathan Villar later on. We got to start paying some people some big bucks. So maybe signing a guy like Xavier Baez wouldn't be bad for a year, but later on in the future might not be the greatest idea. The pitching rotation is practically done and dealt with. We have a pitching core that I think can go a very long ways, and I think this core is something that is to be excited for, like to be very excited for. Not maybe Zach Davies and Kyle Gibson, not so much. Maybe we could go out there and get another pitcher. Maybe that could be an option for us, right? Because right now what we got here is not that bad of a pitching core. I think we got a way better Texas Rangers team than what we think. And we need to make some moves. And there's no doubt about that. We need to figure out what the fuck we need to do next, because we need to do something for this team. But right now, guys, I'm going to sign off. Thank you very much for watching. And the next episode, we're going to make some big time moves. Who do we sign? Do we go after Yair Baez to make this team the best team we could possibly make it? Do we go after another pitcher? Maybe pick back up Lance Lynn, right? Maybe pick him back up to help out the rotation for a year. Maybe that's an option, right? Maybe go after another bullpen guy. Maybe go after somebody that could play that big third baseman spot that can maybe come in and help us out. Maybe like a Tommy Pham who could come in, right? I'd like to hear you guys' comments in the comment section below. I'd like to hear you guys' opinions and stuff like that, because it's a big episode. Like, it's going to be a big episode next one. Like, it really is. Who do we go after? Who do we trade? It's going to be a lot of big decisions that we're going to have to make. But for right now, guys, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Adios, amigos.